Welcome to another reading and correcting of Shattered Salvation. With me, Kindar, the Hi, Tigers. If you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Today, we are doing. Tristan picked this motel because it was far from anything important. Enough business. Beats. He'd confirmed with a portable scanner the recording being made were cameras. Alex had gone in. Bother remembering. I walked through the half-empty lot and watched in Bell's large window. Anyone paying too much attention to him, or the only people were the same assortment there: vagrants, illicit substances, muggers, and would-be criminal. No one who didn't belong. This motel hadn't been as staying on the other side of the planet to connect him to the target. But once Tristan destroyed both of them, he uh, destroyed both of them, then had to ensure Lion's brother would find him. It made more sense to stay close where expected him to show up eventually. He paused at the door, listening for any out of place sounds. The shower was running, and his bid was playing 2 doors down. Something. Two women argued past that room. The other rooms. Alex would tell him if any residents let the or any sign things had been disrupted. The nutrient packages it crumpled and left on the dresser with Alex's shirt he'd drop on the door when he opened it, still where it had been. Alex's pack. Surprising how often such a low-tech alarm had told him someone was. He'd placed it back on the when they'd placed it back on the handle. Fallen from. The room wasn't impressive. It had Alex's hat, the dresser, and the shower room. Minimum someone needed. It was a restaurant. That was moving toward the shower before he even considered. He glanced at the computer in passing, the list, but didn't bother. But he didn't bother pausing. But he wanted to see human. Open with his up. Alex heard. Why did that not bother him? The shower was in the far corner of the room, without one of its. The shower was in the far corner of the room, without one of its own to block the view. Back to him. The cleaner out of his hair. The muscle in his scarred arms and back bulged. The definition on them had grown sharper. Trace each muscle if he wanted. He hadn't limited his training to fighting. Strength had been a part of it. Proud of Alex. He had sculpted the unit. There was a faint scent. Alex had taken care of his knee while showering. That was fine. Tristan could still satisfy his touch him, feel him against his. Alex stiffened, stopped, and forced his. What was going on? He was the human days ago. Alex glanced over his shoulder and body. I'm almost done with this. What I found is on my data pad. You can take a look. Tristan nodded, not trusting. Stepped out of the room and paced, trying to force thought on the job and away from Alex's body. Strong legs, the deadly arm firm. Grabbed the sound dampener he fired out of its package. There was an Orvanal sound stop. A stupid name. Product. It was the best he'd been able to find in the time he'd given himself for what they'd need. He took each component, he looked at each component, both to confirm they were in good condition. Correct himself. Naked shower. Mentally ran through the specs of each over him. It only took him a minute to catalog all. His body no longer showed any indication how he'd but a sight shower. He took out his datapad and copied the Alex had found. Both of them were Cholera's Omicron D, top of the almost as powerful as their Grandmere computer. Alex needing something to act as a Tristan no longer settled for just getting their pads from the best manufacturer. He went for their best so that Alex could go when the shower stopped. Alex walked out, crying himself, felt the desire to look away from the data pad. Alex in the habit of staying naked until he needed to have done that. Right, because it had made Alex uncomfortable. Done it as a way of exerting power over Alex. Other you laughing at him. He should tell him to hurry up and dress, but that would let him know his nudity. Not only wouldn't give Alex that kind of wasn't let Alex's nudity affect him. Once dry, he did dress. He dropped the towel at the door before opening out and stepped. Christian brought his body back under control. Being some later, Alex was back with. He looked at the towel, then around the room, not looking at Tristan for things were or weren't. Place of the. They ate in silence. We're done. Alex motioned. Tristan activated the sound. I've already confirmed that the Teller's complex doesn't export any of its information outside site will stack. So we don't have to worry about the vault's virus data, about about the vault about the vault virus. Worry about all the virus's data being duplicated elsewhere. Tapped his data pad resting on a table and hologram of the. He highlighted the fourth floor. This is where the mainframe is. Out the floor, up to roof. It's composed of 81 stacks. On site, I'll be able to locate the vault and release the program to chew it up. Or frying the stack. It hides what we were after from the habit of explaining his thought, Alex, and it lets the mark know this isn't the only one after the virus. This sends the message that, as far as he can tell, we are now the only ones who have what he wants. If he wants to get it, he'll have to deal. How is he going to find us? Amateur. His family runs a city. He supervises multiple departments. He will have surrounded himself with qualified people, right? But that's still not going to help him. When I get done with that system, there's nothing. When I get done with the system, there's nothing there for anyone to find. Tristan nodded, keeping his gaze fixed on Alex. Want me to threads so he can use to find. It's what the job calls for. Alex, I hate shoddy work. I'm confident. Alex nodded. I will, but my pride won't if it ever gets out. Someone was track me down using my code. The fabricator. Now, but that's because there's nothing about it in this. Valerian was thorough about that. But I did find our 9 dead zone by overlaying the index map and matching each ID location. 9? How were they created? One we know was Aurelian. The others, I'm guessing, system glitches. It isn't common, but not unheard of. A power spike shocks the system. An item is in position and drops the tag. The tag item and location. Most of the time, when the hover arrives for the pickup, it's alert, and the system can retrieve information from a backup. But if it passes, that's been overwritten with the current version and treats it as an order. How easy is it for someone else to find out what you did? Alex raised an eyebrow. You were gone for just over 6 hours for your shopping. It took me 15 minutes to find the mainframe, 5 to get into the warehouse system. The rest was tedious work of looking at all the locations in the warehouse to match them with the index. And I wrote a program to help with that. That took a minute or two. So anyone dedicated enough could. Sure, but I don't know any criminal who would do that without knowing there's a payout at the end. Didn't come. Alex wasn't as knowledgeable about the length you were willing to go. Alex tapped the screen and the hologram vanished, replaced by two persons. This is what I'm working on. I'll insert us into the complex technicals. They have a handful of aliens working there, so you stand out just Alan for. I'm giving us the qualifications for mainframe work and asks why we're in the tax. You are qualified for maintenance. You are qualified for maintenance, right? Alex. Alex Rin. I'll also have a work order in the system to justify our presence. Problem is that I can't find any reason to take us inside the warehouse. Anything that moves, flies, or rolls out of it, maintenance bay of it, anything that moves, flies, or rolls goes out of it to the maintenance bay next to the warehouse. Mainframe is housed in a different building. Locate who handles the security inside the warehouse. It isn't the company that handles the complex. That I haven't given up on it, but it's looking like not only can't I use that for IDs, but I can't tell you what the security routes will be like. It's going to be tough to justify our presence. We don't bother explaining anything. If we encounter someone, we kill them. Happen. I thought forgotten again. He began doing his own search. That's going to be a lot of bodies take place. If even one of them is found before we're done, we'll have to deal with the law on top of whoever Baran will have looking for the fabricator. There won't be anyone there. The old man said the place was fully automated. Sure, all the movement of items is in machines, but need for security. Tristan sent the information he'd found to Alex's various locations highlighted, as well as their coverage. Plans, the house was covered by as a sensor net curtain. Are they are they any good? Yes, but for something this big, no one but Space Gov and the largest corporation afford the best. They're good enough. Let me guess. The net is monitored off-site. Data flows through. Then it's work. I can have a program intercept the data before it reaches whatever security handle. The security firm handles that and scrub us out of it in real time. I'm counting. But they can't rely on just that. You can't rely on just that. That's the kind of coercion I was doing in my first year of school. There are enough instructions about that on the net for anyone to learn about how to do it. Their choices are use a top of the line system and charge. And in the industrial bracket where they are situated, no one would pay those prices. Get an okay system and work hard to convince anyone it's much better than it is, so the criminal will bother trying to beat it or pay hundreds of guards to have physical presence inside the warehouse, which again rises the price of their typical out of their typical client's Alex side. It always comes down to everything does. You're not greedy. Not. Locked eyes with. Without looking away, he ran a finger along the underside of Alex's furless. Felt the goosebumps. Alex's breathing increased. Mix of need and pain flash in his eyes before got every. Alex looked away, bringing up the research file to read. Don't. Alex headed for the shower. Smell how the touch affected him. That. Unfortunately, now Tristan had trouble reading the file by what he imagined Alex was doing. This includes chapter 16 of Shadow. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like. If you want to know when the next one's going to be up, subscribe and hit the bell. Read the book as well as the other in the series. They are available on all major retailers. Go to support me, that's on Patreon, where you can also get access to basically everything else I want to live. It's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Shh. The links are in the notes, and with that, I